Morning everyone, welcome back to Nat's Knackers Yard. I'll be Nat, my Knackers Yard are behind me, and this will be the Thundercat, and I'll be going to work. Kind of a midweek update. I normally do these rolling, but I've had all sorts of GoPro issues I'm not going to bother going into, but effectively a little bit of googlage, a factory reset, and it seems to be okay. We shall see. Try turning your bike on, you moron. Yeah. So, where are we? There's a little bit of an update. So, I'm also a little bit cabled up because I'm charging my GoPro on the go, which I don't like doing, but needs must. And my smaller battery pack is still somewhere in the post-holiday packing detritus, so going for a larger arm, which means I've got a long cable dangling down my chest. Not ideal, but it works. Right, so where are we? Work's picking up because it's that post-Easter bit, so I've been quite busy, so I've not really had a great deal to do, nor arguably have I got a great deal to do. What I have been doing is looking at Beast, the Sprint 900, and playing with bits. So thank you very much, Mr. Carr, it's very kind of you. Yeah, looking at bits at on Beast. What I have done is I have booked the Beast in for an MOT on Saturday morning. So going back to Maitland Racing in central London, which would cost me the ULEZ charge but won't with the Beast because it's ULEZ free. And it's going back to the same place that I took Sting, the CB400 last week. So my initial plan of doing that and then dropping off around the Motorcycle Rescuers patch in Islington to show off Beast is on for this Saturday. So I'll do the MOT bit and then, time dependent, drop round to his on the way past so he can see Beast in the flesh, as it were. Hopefully with a fresh and shiny new MOT on it. We shall see. Speaking of fresh and shiny, obviously the last update was the mudguard, which I slightly foolishly attempted in 24 hours or within the day, and got away with it. It worked fine. A few people saying, bloody hell, that paint dried quick, or did it dry properly, or whatever. I don't know, but it's worked. Well, I don't think I'll do it often, but it did work, and it looks pretty good. Now, as usual with any part of the bike, as soon as you lavish some attention, I really need to clean these brakes, as soon as you lavish some attention on one part of a bike, you suddenly realise how bad the rest of it is. I just want to check I'm still recording. Oh, I am, bloody hell, it seems to be fixed. Yeah, it highlights how crap the rest of it is. So I put a bit of attention on the side panels for two elements really. Firstly, the curve at the back by the indicator was kind of hacked. It was done as a rack bike, you know, this isn't an insult to any previous owners or the guy that did it, but you know, the curve wasn't curved, and what I wanted to do was just take that off and give it a bit of a rub down, just a straight hand and sandpaper job, just to get that curve more uniform on both sides, which I did. Then needed some fresh paint. Now the paint that was on it was just black over whatever was underneath, purple I think. So I gave it a little bit of a smooth. There's no point getting rid of all of it, and removing paint, excuse me. removing paint from plastic is a pain in the arse, because you kind of use chemicals at your peril, because the chemicals will eat the plastic as well as eat the paint. So basically I gave it a brief rub down. It was, you know, it was kind of rough anyway. It was just untreated paint on top. I'll be dropping some pictures down the bottom throughout this. Did that, rubbed it down a bit, chucked on some cheapy black and some cheeky lacquer. Cheapy or cheeky? Oh, I suppose a bit of both. And ended up with this. I've got the picture down the bottom, and I'll jump into a bit of footage which kind of shows my evenings throughout the week. That moment when you do a little bit of midweek work, it's nearly 11 o'clock, you throw your fresh paint work on a bike and it looks amazing. That's why I do this. And back in the room, yeah, I'm happy with that. And what I'll do is, after I finish talking bollocks here, I'll drag the bike out and we'll have a quick look. We'll drag the beast out and have a quick look. What I've also done is I've taken the rear cone off and just given that a bit of a mother's compounding and a little bit of polish, and that's come up really nicely. A couple of blemishes that I could work at, but probably won't, but it kind of supports my ultimate decision not to paint, because you've got that nose cone and the rear cone. Sorry, what did I just say? It's the rear cone that I polished, not the nose cone. That's next. But they are, I think, treated black plastic, i.e. there's not paint on them, which is cool, because any scratch, blemishes, whatever that you get on them, you can just polish them out. Either chuck them on a wheel or do it by hand, or, you know, whatever you want to do, you can polish them out. If you paint them and you scratch them, then, you know, your scratches are going to be black underneath, as opposed to as they currently are, where your scratches are black underneath and less visible. So it kind of supports that whole decision. I've held off playing with the tank deliberately, because I want to go for the MOT on Saturday. So I've held off playing with the tank. That will be post MOT attempt. On the MOT itself, I don't have any attempting fate. I don't have any real worries / concerns about it, with the exception of the headlight, which is an LED headlight. It's got the SAE mark on it and everything. You know, it theoretically should be okay, but you know, we'll see how we get on the day. That's my only bit that I'm really, you know, not concerned about, that I'm worried about, that I think it might cause it. It might raise an eyebrow from the inspector, from the assessor. But you know, we'll see. CB400 Sting has gone on the market. I priced it deliberately high to start with. I've gone for 1750, which, you know, I don't think it'll get. I think it's worth, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it'll get. It's really because I'm expecting to drop the price anyway, and you tend to get more reaction when people see that the price has dropped on a bike, in my humble opinion. So starting on that. Now, I'm kind of glad it hasn't sold, because I have ordered a new oil plug, having not secured it on the way to MOT and lost it, and I have looked around locally in gutters and everything to see if it's fallen off somewhere. I have ordered one. I ordered it on a Saturday off of Fleabay with 24-hour postage. Yeah, I ordered it on Saturday. It didn't actually get processed till Monday, which meant that it got picked up by the couriers on Tuesday. It's now Thursday. I've had a message from the courier saying, oh, we sent it to the wrong depot, it's going to be delayed. So 24-hour postage is currently taking 5 days. Hermes are just shit. They always have been. They've changed the name to Every, which just means that Every is shit now instead of Hermes being shit. But yeah, it's frustrating, but it's not doing me in or doing me over, because I haven't got a buyer for Sting yet. But I'm holding off on dropping the price until it's complete and I've got that there, because I think that's the point where it will generate interest. Beyond that, I do have a very strong potential next bike, although Sting's going to have to sell first before I buy it, or before I do buy it. I'll chuck up some pictures down the bottom here. It is a 2001 Yamaha XVS 650. So I've gone back to cruisers, which I'm happy with. I like cruisers. Not necessarily for me because they're very low and I'm very high. Explains my outlook on many things if I am. No, and I'm quite tall, so actually cruisers don't really fit me. But I just love them. I love the look of them. I love the, I love a good low rumble, particularly on something like this as a V-twin. But yeah, so that's looking pretty solid as a purchase. It has been off the road for 13 months. Its last MOT ran out in January last year. I came across it, easy you fucking bellend. I came across it at work actually. The site that I work on has lots of people on it, weirdly enough. A fair amount of parking, never enough, but some garages, and this was loitering at the back of, open fronted garages for many, for many use. And one of the ones that's used for bike parking has had this thing in the back gathering dust for a period of time. So it's not been started in 13 months. The MOT ran out in January last year. The guy that owned it bought it from another guy that works on site, and then went away for a 12-month stint somewhere. He went away. It's been banged up. He wasn't banged up. He went away with work for just over 12 months. So 13 months has not been run, is the claim. And frankly, I believe that. I don't know the guys personally, but I know them by association type thing. And he's flogging it on. What's my plan? I don't know, put simply. Now, for anybody that's been following the channel for a little while, and it was a few ago now, I mentioned about my my eldest son, who wants to go on a school skiing trip, which is not cheap, and struck an agreement that for the next project would be me and him, and he can have the profits, or any profits that's made towards the skiing fund, which seems fun, and it's a nice opportunity for a little bit of dad and son pissing around, and the same with any kid nowadays. It'll get them off tech for a while, which is always useful. And if he picks up a couple of tips and skills, then cool. Now, I was expecting to do a scooter or something with him, something nice and simple, not something sort of quite big and potentially complex, but we'll see how it goes. Now, completely ignoring any technical pieces, there is a shitload of chrome on this bike, so I might have a labourer to get it all nice and clean. Now, if I was doing it as my project, I would definitely bobber it. I've had a look, you can get bobber kits for it, only for about 200 quid, which is a seat and which is a bolt-on kit, bolt-on, bolt-off, which would probably be the ideal, because then you can sell it on as a bobber or as an original, and see how it goes. It really depends what it's like under all of the crap that's on it, but we'll see when we get there. Right, that'll do me for ramble. I'll jump back in once I'm back from work and home, and we'll have a look at Beast. Cheers. And there we go, there's the old boy just dragged out, and I'm really quite chuffed. It's just looking so much better. Seems a bit of a waste to do all this before an MOT, but that'll do for now.